Hi, yes, can you hear us?
We can hear you just fine.
Great, okay. I'll just quickly explain to the group here what's happening. We can only see two people at the moment on our camera. I wonder if you can pan around a bit and just one view. This is at the Internet 2 conference in Arlington, Washington at the moment.
Thank you, Tim.
We're linked to a group called the K20 advisory group, which means kindergarten to 20 basically. So this is a similar group to ours, and they're interested in using the Internet 2, which is the equivalent of JANT in the States, to enable schools to use their services. They also have a few content providers in the meeting, so I should probably let them introduce themselves. But hi, my name is Tim Boundy. Can you all hear me fine?
Wonderful, Tim.
I can see it not there. That's good. We're just going to try and show you the rest of our group here. We've got about 60 delegates at the moment. Who am I speaking to at the moment? So I can stand in front of the camera this way.
Tim, can you hear me?
Sorry, fantastic.
Good morning, Tim. This is Kim
Hi, is that Kim?
Virginia. Hello.
Hi. We've got quiet at the moment. Let's see if we turn it.
I guess as an introduction to this session, the purpose of this collaborative video conference is for us to have a discussion with our peers in the United Kingdom about possible K-12, K-20 collaborations. And so, as Tim was saying, he has a group there that has been meeting all day. Likewise, Tim, we're here talking about K-20 integration into the classroom. So you have some people there that can talk about what they're doing and what they're interested in doing.
Sure, shall I give you a quick introduction to the group here? We've also got 6 of the participants on the IBC as well, so the group plan is made up of representative strong local school authorities, content providers, museums, galleries, archives, we've got manufacturers, yes, so we have hardware resellers, we've got higher education, further education, so teacher training institutions. Any other institutions we train? Types of groups, yeah? Janet UK, of course, yes, I'm from Janet UK, so we're the equivalent to Internet 2. I think I met some last year, but I know that as well. The purpose of our group, although this is only the second meeting, so we haven't really got a strategy yet. Sounds like a threat for the next meeting. The purpose of our group is to try and encourage videography in the school sector in the UK. So we've got a lot of content providers here, a lot of content out of schools. We've also seen presentations from the Janet Videographer service who manage the video conferencing infrastructure. So it'll be really interesting to see if you have some in the group, and if there's any way any of our museums and institutions here would like to form partnerships with any of the activities you're up to. So really, I see this kind of as an introduction between the two groups. We've got 20 minutes, so it doesn't matter what's going on. But it'd be good to hear about what you guys are up to and see if we've got any common ground. I'll hand over.
Do we have any questions here for people that are interested in collaborating?
Okay. Can you move a little to the mic, or we can't hear you clear?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. And likewise, if you could speak up too when you've got people in your audience talking, that would help us. Any questions from the group as far as possible collaborations? I guess, Tim, if you've got people there that have specific ideas or programs that they would like to highlight, that would be helpful for us.
Okay, do you want to give us a bit of an introduction to what your group's made up of and the kind of activities you get up to?
I can certainly do that. We've got, this is the Internet 2 group in Arlington, Virginia, and this morning is the K-20 group. So we have representatives from K-12 schools, higher ed, those of us that are working with schools, faculty, students, educators in order to incorporate I2 and video conferencing activities into the classroom. What else would you add for those of you out there that I didn't cover? We've had presentations this morning by NOAA and NASA, and then also by a group that's working with the National Science Digital Library, and some similar groups that are doing those kinds of online repositories.
Okay, we've had presentations today from the National Football Museum. We're just beginning to videoconference now. A group called I2K20 who do videoconferencing content on mathematical plates. Who else have we had? Myself, talking about dynamic vibration training in about a second. We've got several large national institutions here, the National Archives, the Natural History Museum, we've got the Houses of Parliament, the Education Team Houses of Parliament represented. They're just starting video conferencing as well as schools. So,
We're at the Maritime.
We're at the Maritime Museum, we're at the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich. As far as events go that we can promote and might be interested in, we've just been talking about whether we'd offer some national events that could take schools across the country, because we've just actually been speaking to Sue Lawson from Regrad Plant, which is very interesting. We're trying to look at, we'd like to do a similar activity. We've also got something that's almost fills that, which is called London Live. Roger, would you like to have US points? Yeah. Let me just pass the mic over. Have you seen any possible collaborations?
Yeah. Yes, hi. We've been organising a day-long miscellany of items via video conferencing for schools, mainly in London, but also across the UK for 3 years now. All sorts of interesting things to get included in the programme, but we would be very interested in the next 6 months or so, as we shall organise this, in getting some contributions from your side of the pond, as they say, and that could include schools that were doing something particularly interesting. It could be a museum, it could be anything that has something special to offer. It could be schools who are looking to make partnerships with English schools who would talk to themselves across the airways during the day. If that sort of thing would be interesting, then we would definitely like to talk more after today. The event usually happens mid to late October, so we've got time to organise these things. What's your time scale over there? What time are you of the day at the moment? 9:20 in the morning, is that right? That sounds right?
That's correct, yes.
Right, so you're approximately 5 hours behind us then? Yeah, that's all right, that would work fine, yes. Good. Well, if anyone in those very broad range of organisations that you've got represented there would be keen to become involved in something like that, you can talk to Tim, who will put you in contact with me, and we have on the internet 2 or 3 films of previous occasions that you could have a look at to see if that was the sort of thing you might like to get involved in. But we'd be very welcome to join us.
I loved your description, however, I missed where you said you were from right at the beginning. Can you state that, and then do you have a URL? You said you have resources?
Yes, I'm actually based in 2 of the London boroughs, Westminster and Kensington and Chelsea. But the event itself includes as many London schools as want to join in, and a number of schools across the UK. The most we've ever had at any one time was 45 schools all getting together all at once. But that's the sort of thing that we do. But get in touch and we'll show you where the film is to have a look at and the sort of things that go on. And you may be very interested. We'd be very happy to have you there.
And Tim, this is Kim in Arlington. I assume that you could email the URL and the contact information?
Sure, yes, we'll forward all information to you. Something that would be interesting to talk about is that we've been talking about a prototype pilot project called Jam to Collaborate here, which is a site that hopefully will have some success in allowing teachers to find educational content about video conferencing. It'd be interesting to know how you solve this problem. How do teachers in the US find all the different types of video content out there? And are there any different solutions? And I don't know if you can tell me any more about that. And can we use them?
The only thing I'm familiar with that we use over here is a rough equivalent from, I think it's Pennsylvania, runs the Muse social site.
No, I mean, you just don't know the answer to that one, or we can't hear the microphone.
I'm sorry. Is there anybody here from there? We have a directory service that's called Muse, M-U-S-E, and I believe it's just still in beta or was open to the public just last year. So they're still collecting groups of folks to be, join the social site, but it is dedicated to online video conferencing. Can I ask another question? I just pointed that out because the question was asked, but I represent Barrow County Schools. We're a small school district in Georgia that had the very fortunate opportunity to connect to Internet 2 at 50 megabits. So we're interested in high definition video conferencing opportunities, particularly with science labs. We're connected to Georgia Tech's nanotechnology labs and clean rooms, and we'd love to be able to transmit that sort of thing over the pond if we could get something in return in direct relation to scientists interacting with students, that sort of thing.
A really interesting question. Let me see if there's anyone who can respond to that. Do we have any groups who might be able to get connections to scientists and science groups? We've got Sarah Whittle from the Natural History Museum.
Hi, yes, I'm from the Natural History Museum, which is based in London. You may well know the museum as somewhere where you can go and see the dinosaurs, but what lots of people don't realise is that behind the scenes there's 350 scientists doing research. Now, I have for quite a while been trying to get opportunities for scientists to be able to video conference to students. They have a public engagement remit where they are asked to engage with the public, whether that's adults via our Nature Live studio. If you went to the museum website, just www.nhm.ac.uk, and look at the Nature Live, you can see there's 30-minute programs where scientists are talking to the public about the science that they're doing. That's based in the studio, and I know the teachers, well, anybody can email questions in when those Nature Live programs are webcast and they're streamed over the internet. But as I was sort of going back to video conferencing, that's something that I'm hoping to set up. It is quite a long process because the scientist's residence is science and doing research. And if they're already committing to Nature Live, press calls, television programs, various other sort of public engagement areas, and it's difficult for me to get a video conference. But I think, Nature Live is one opportunity, but perhaps watch this space, because I think there are opportunities to liaise with scientists for sure.
Although we're not sure if that's going to be next year. No, that's next year.
Tim, this is James Worley from Internet 2K20. And I just wanted to follow up a little bit on, there you are. Hi there, Tim. I wanted to just follow up a little bit on your question, tacking on to what Ed said earlier about how the sorts of resources and tools that are available for teachers and librarians, museum folks, higher ed to discover each other and the sort of projects and resources that they have available. So we do have Muse, kind of a corollary to Jana Collaborate, with one caveat: it's kind of technology agnostic. So it hopes to describe opportunities around video conferencing, but beyond that, you kind of think of it as a place to discover the whole raft of you know, advanced networking enabled resources like directories of remote instruments, for example, or learning object repositories. That's not to say that it's stuffed to the gills full of that content yet, but it certainly has the capacity to once we get a larger adoption rate for people to describe that wider range. Lastly, also around video conferencing, a little bit more mature system is CILC's www.cilc.org. Is that correct? Yeah, www.cilc.org is another great one for those in the UK who would like to learn about what kind of video conferencing programs might be available for your teachers and your students from this side.
Thanks very much, James. Does anyone else have any comments they'd like to make to the states? Some more waving hands at the moment. What about the people who joined us by video? Anyone like to? Yes, Ian, go ahead.
I just got a question. During last year's video conferencing, we heard about virtual field trips via video conferencing, and that sounds very interesting, but I wasn't sure exactly what it meant.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Does anyone here like to define a virtual field trip, or anyone in the States like to do that?
Hi, this is Carol Willis from Texas. Hi Tim, we met last fall, I think. We're actually doing virtual field trips from Texas, and our students are creating and presenting some of the content. So if you're interested in cotton or fire ants, we've got some kids in West Texas that would love to share their information with your students. And I was going to ask, have you, I know I've been on the Janet website, I get the emails. Have you considered students developing content? There's some great stuff in the museums there. But for us, we're really working with our kids to develop content.
Another interesting question. Anyone else answer that? Students don't know, would you trust them with that? Just a second.
I'm Jenny Page from the Motivate Project, which is based at the University of Cambridge. We do have kids developing content. We have maths and science-based video conferences, a lot of which are led by professionals, either academics or in industry. But we also have some kids who are producing content, and they produce content for other school kids. So yes, we're doing that stuff.
Fantastic.
And if anyone's interested in maths and science, it's motivate.maths.org on the internet.
There is a website, not all of the content from Texas is on this website, but it's called Connect to Texas, and that is connect2texas.org. I think it's org or net, I believe it's org. And you can see some of the museums, content providers from Texas, as well as some of the student content I was referring to. Thanks. We hope to do something fun.
Okay, thanks very much. We're running out of time now? Okay. Any more questions or points anyone else made from this side? Potential things you can think of?
Hello, this is Peter Evans from the National Football Museum, or Soccer to you, I think it is. I wonder if there's anybody over there working with museums, or the children who might like to link with a museum in the UK.
This is Louis Fox. Yes, we have a number of museums that participate in the K20 effort, and if you go to the website k20.internet2.edu, You can identify many of the museums by state, and it just depends on what sorts of partnerships that you're interested in. The Muse, the social networking site that we have, is also another good place to begin engaging some of these museum partners.
And Tim, this is... Can you repeat your question?
What was the website that Lewis just said?
No W's.
K20.internet2.edu.
Thank you.
And one request we would have is that we should put all of these into emails, all these URLs into emails, and then swap them after this session so that we can make sure everyone gets them. And Tim, this is again in Arlington. I just had a question. You mentioned, as an example, that your group from the Parliament is interested in doing video conference sessions, like with a K-12 or what we would say ages 5 through 18 group. What kinds of content would that be?
I'll hand the mic over to them and they can tell you themselves.
Hi there, this is Laura from the Education Service Department. We are just starting the video conferencing service, so it's a pilot stage at the moment. So really we're going to wait and see how that goes before we roll it out any further. We're looking at historical contents of how Parliament's developed, as well as how Parliament works today. Linking in with what citizenship it's called over here, so maybe social studies or something, how students can interact with their Parliament and their politicians.
That's great. That would be interesting. We've had students in our state connecting with our legislators, which especially during election years, they take advantage of, but it's very interesting to have the kids connecting with the legislators about specific topics to their state. I think we need to wrap it up. Any other questions from the England site?
One more down front, Heather.
Just one question. We're moving towards digital learning platforms and VLE virtual learning environments, and I just wondered if you have programs running in the US where children are using video conferencing to work together within a safe environment, so outside the remit of things like MSN and Skype, whether they're using H323 to communicate outside the school hours for doing projects together and that kind of thing.
I'll speak just from experience within my state, and I believe what I heard you say was that you're asking if students have a safe environment to collaborate out of school hours or outside of the school network. In our state, we try to keep them within the school network, and they can do it before and after school, but being on the school network provides that filtering that is necessary for our underage students. And likewise, if the teacher is going to implement some type of collaboration, more than likely the teacher is overseeing what's happening on that site and the collaboration among the students, what the students are posting. Does that answer your question or help to answer it?
Yeah, no, that's great, thank you.
Any more questions from here? Well, Heather and Tim, thank you very much. This was unrehearsed, but good discussion, and I hope that the URLs will bring some collaboration. I think there's just exciting possibilities.
I agree. Thank you very much for taking the time out to chat to us. It's really interesting to meet you all. I'm sure we'll speak again. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Sean, Dave, would you mind if we sort of took a 5-minute break and started just that would be okay, great. So we're going to, the program committee really packed the agenda. So let's just take a 5-minute break and come back at about 10:20, and we'll start right then.